So after a crazy race last weekend in the United Kingdom, we're here for the 8th running of the Dutch RallyCross Grand Prix, and it's always been right after Croft except for the first season. Here for the 2014B NASA Rallycross Challenge season on the Automotive Sports Network. Hello everyone, it's Josh Martz bringing you the call as we have a 9-car field today, so we will have 2 heats for 4 laps apiece, 1 of 4 and 1 of 5. The top 2 in each heat must advance through to the final, or will advance through to the final. Others move to the LCQ, and you have to take the Joker once. LCQ 3 laps, Joker once, top 2 advance, and the final is 6 drivers for 8 laps, and the Joker twice. And before we get to the first heat, for the second consecutive race in 2014B, Mertz has won the seeding round, and this time over half a second faster than his teammate Cody Erdman in second, Tanner Smith third of 43.719, Hagenstein 44.132, Wetz 44.218, Livengood of 44.679, Daniel Bellamy of 44.796, your privateer points leader. Nick Kars, I believe that's incorrect, 48.539, and Maurice Pigeon a 51.783. I don't believe that is right with Nick Kars, but we will clarify that in a short moment. But let's get going for heat number 1 here. And as the cars round through the paddock, it's the MRT drivers who are getting ready to go. It's Casey Lester joining them in the first heat, along with Maurice Pigeon. And that was where the graphic was incorrect. Swap Cars for Lester, as Cars cut the first chicane. His time was disallowed, and he parked. So he will not take part in this race, but he did practice. He will get 10th place points. And Gabriel Messina also practiced, but he had an engine failure in his Ford. He will get 11th place points. Robert Pankow, Jake Pipal get 12th and 13th place points provisionals, as I believe they were unable to clear customs with their cars to get into the Netherlands. So unfortunate for them. But 9 cars will be competing. We had 11 for practice, and overall 13 cars will get points here today. But we're going to get ready for the first heat of 2. On pole is Mertz, fastest in the seeding round. Then it's Pigeon, Erdman second fastest, and Lester. The 2 in between the MRT cars were the second slowest, as that's the new format for the seeding round here this season. Mertz is 3 out of 3 for the seeding rounds. Let's see if he can continue his heat streak. It's lights out and away we go. And off the line, Erdman got the jump over his teammate. Casey Lester side by side with him as they will file into corner number 1. Side by side, still Mertz and Lester. Mertz clears him. As the Subarus never used to be fast here, and in practice, obviously seeding round as well, they were quicker than the rest of the field. Rounding the dirt corner for the first time, who will take to the Joker? Mertz will in car number 81, the double champion. Never won here in Valkenswaard. As he slides side by side with his teammate, he's going to let him through. As these two over the radio, obviously team orders are banned, but he is constantly saying to Cody, let's not crash, please. So they are driving very aggressively, but very cleanly are the 2 teammates at the end of lap number 1. Mertz sneaks into the lead through a pass in the chicane, which was very, very interesting. Erdman looks like he locked up the rears in car number 82. So give Mertz a gap there of about half a second over the 2013A runner-up and the man who stood 3rd in 2013C. Erdman's been fast, but he's never been consistent enough to hold a championship charge. But hopefully this season he can get in gear and challenge his teammate and challenge quadruple defending champion Dylan Livengood. As we're rounding the corner for lap number 3 here in Valkenswaard. Erdman tried the outside in the chicane. It was not going to work. Through into turn 1 for the first time, or the 3rd time I should say, once again. Sorry about that. He's getting close, but he can't get enough gap as he tries the outside, but he bangs it off the wall. And I believe that made him ruin his momentum as he sneaks to the outside with the undercut. Can he get the outside? No, he sneaks back to the inside. Mertz is driving defensively. They nearly make contact, do the teammates. And this is aggressive but clean as he nearly runs into him as he slides to the outside. Nearly clips the tire barrier that he interestingly sent Livengood in last season. As we come to the white flag. And he is trying to catch his teammate as these two are gone from the new Revolution Junior car. Casey Lester is over the week. He was signed to that team. As Brandon Nicholson, his money did not come together, so he was not in Croft, and he is not here. I don't believe he is going to be making a charge for that cup again. So Casey Lester takes the reins of the Revolution Junior car. Maurice Pigeon in his first race for the Citroen Total Abu Dhabi World Rally Team. But anyway, it's Red Bull Subaru MRT, the double champions of 2012B and 2013C. They've never really had the success that Revolution did, but Mertz will win heat number 1, followed by his teammate that transfer through. And to save the tires, they immediately send it to the chicane pull-off there, as Lester and Pigeon will head through to the LCQ to try and battle it out there. As this heat should be interesting, as everyone else was in this heat. And so here we go. It is Living Good. It's Tanner Smith, Dylan Livingood, points leader Daniel Bellany in Privateers, second place in Privateers Hagenstein, and Chris Wetz. So the top 2 in points last season, the current top 2 in Privateers, a winner in Croft. Everyone has some experience here. Livingood 9 career wins, Wetz 9 career wins, Smith 4, and then there's 2 Privateers that have gotten close, but no cigar, especially last week for Daniel Bellamy. So another 4-lap heat here. The grid for heat 2. I forgot we had these graphics. It's Smith, Bellamy, Hagenstein, Livingood front row. Then it is Wetz on the back row. We don't have a graphic for him. He's the only car, but as you can see, he is behind his teammate. So constructor cars, couple Privateers. Who knows what'll happen here? And it's lights out and away we go for heat number 2. Livingood gets the jump. Wetz follows him. 3 wide. Bellamy in the middle, getting pinched between Smith and Hagenstein. And in turn 1, Livingood swoops by both of them. Contact with Bellamy and Smith. Rights him. That shouldn't be a trip to the penalty box for the 4-time race winner. Livingood pulling away in car number 51. With Mertz winning the heat, they are getting relatively close in pace during the race, but Livingood has not had the 1-lap pace to defeat Mertz. But last week in Croft was an interesting battle. This week should shape up to be something good if he can hang on as we are rounding the final corner to end the first lap. It's Livingood followed by Hagenstein. Smith is in second, Wetz third, or Wetz fourth I should say, Bellamy fifth. As a couple lines through turn 1, Hagenstein ran it wide. Smith will get the spot, so send the Norwegian driver ahead of the Dutch driver. As Smith bangs it off the wall. Wetz the American, Livingood the Canadian. Multi-nations in this race. Wetz hits the wall. Bellamy got close. To the Joker goes Smith in car number 13. As Livingood still out front in car number 51, the Rockstar Mitsubishi, followed by the Abu Dhabi Total Citroen. As the third lap begins, and those two are in the transfer spots. Hagenstein in the third spot, Bellamy in fourth, Wetz in fifth. As I'm hearing potentially a drive to the penalty box for Tanner Smith. So this could get interesting, as I believe he might have cut 4 wheels onto that grass. But I'm unsure about that. Hagenstein comes out of the Joker. Livingood, there goes Smith to the penalty box in car number 13. So that elevates Hagenstein to second in the transfer spot as we take the white flag. Hagenstein now second. Smith battling Wetz and Bellamy for third. It doesn't mean anything except for pride, as he cut the chicane, or cut the Joker grass there, and had to take to the penalty box, as the driver's not too happy about the placement of the penalty box today. As that's really, that corner is tricky. There was talk about actually going onto the bank and getting a better run into the penalty box, but if you took the Joker you wouldn't be able to get there. But rounding the final corner, is Dylan Livengood in car number 51 to take the win in heat number 2. Hagenstein is in second. Third, Wetz. Fourth, Bellamy, and it looks like Tanner Smith slips to fifth in car number 13. Not too happy is the Norwegian following that incident there. The LCQ here getting ready to go. As here are the drivers that will compete in this race. And here's the grid. On pole will be Casey Lester in car number 50, followed by Tanner Smith in car number 13, Chris Wetz in car number 71, and Daniel Bellamy in car number 125, and Maurice Pigeon, I believe, will be on the back row in car number 22, the sister Citroen. It looks like Lester is pulled into the wrong gate. Once they all get going again, I'll obviously go through it. It's still on your screen. There we go. Pigeon is still making his way around the paddock to get to the grid, but like I said, on screen, Lester, Smith, Wetz, Bellamy, private Mitsubishi, manufacturer Citroen, manufacturer Mitsubishi, private Subaru, and there's another manufacturer Citroen in Maurice Pigeon. Making his way through the paddock. There he is, the British driver. He was unable to compete last week in Croft, but he's filling in for his teammate Jake Pipal, who was in Laguna Seca on a previous engagement there. So Citroen has 4 cars. They swap them between the two teams. Pipal gets a provisional for drivers, but the team does not get a provisional for the Constructors' Championship. So that's how that will be. It's going to be a 3-lap race here in Valkenswaard as we're revving them up for the LCQ, and it's lights out and away we go. And off the line it's going to be who gets the whole shot into turn 1. It looks like Wetz by a small margin as he rounds the first corner. Contact with Lester, and Bellamy takes the privateer points leader out of transfer spot, a transfer spot potential, and he is now mad. Passing Tanner, yes, that is Tanner Smith. That's Maurice Pigeon. Black wing, I should say. The red wing is Smith. As this is your privateer points leader, his title rival is in the final already, so that is not going to be good for him. As Casey Lester having issues in car number 50, so is Maurice Pigeon. These two are not. 2 laps to go for Tanner Smith and Chris Wetz. Bellamy now 3rd, Pigeon 4th, Lester still 5th. And Bellamy is ways away from Wetz in car number 71. So it's unfortunate for Bellamy. But that's the way it works here in Rallycross. Some weeks are your lucky weeks, some weeks are not. As Smith now still pulling away. Once they finish this lap here, we'll be able to give you accurate lap times. Wetz goes to the Joker. Smith is all over the place. That Joker has gotten riskier and riskier over the years. Regards to making it out of there. As Smith rounds the final corner, it's going to be the white flag. This will determine, actually it doesn't determine anything really. They transfer through, but it's a 6-car final, so it just, depending on where you finish, gives you priority on your gate pick, as these two drivers will start behind the heat winners and runners up. So it's not like an 8-car or a 10-car, or an 8-car final, I should say. 8-car final, they are on the front row. The winner is 10-car, they are on the 3rd row of the grid. But anyway, Bellamy can't get there. The running order hasn't changed, and Casey Lester looks like he has parked. But rounding the final corner, it got close, but Tanner Smith wins the LCQ, followed by Wetz. And Bellamy not happy. 2nd place in Privateers, 17 points. Pigeon rounds the final corner in his first race, 8th spot overall. And Lester, 9th spot. He will get 3rd in Privateers. Now this is going to get good. And this is the final here. Row 1 of the grid here in Valkenswaard for round number 2. The MRT drivers, 1st and 2nd, Mertz and Erdmann and Subarus. Livengood and Hagenstein in third and fourth. Then it's Smith and Wetz in car number 13 and 71. 6 cars for 8 laps here in Valkenswaard. And if you thought it was crazy last week in Croft, you haven't seen anything. As we're revving them up for the final of the second round of the season, it is lights out and away we go. Mertz, for the first time ever, skips the start and completely forgets it exists. Into corner number 1, Livingood will lead. Mertz is now in last. The 2 title protagonists have separate ends of the field. Erdman's second. It's Wetz side by side with Smith. Mertz is going to pass Smith. He's got by his teammate in turn 1. Into the dirt right-hander for the first time. Quadruple champion Livingood leads. Erdman's second. Wetz third. Side by side Smith and Mertz as they both go to the Joker. In car number 13 and 81, Mertz knows he's screwed up on the start as he will slice past, or at least try to get by Tanner Smith. As rounding the first corner for the first time, and to begin lap number 2, it's Dylan Livingood in car number 51, followed by Erdman. Wetz side by side Smith and Mertz. Mertz not taking any prisoners. Smith hits the cars and they make contact. In cars 13 and 81, I don't believe race control will call either of them to cut, because that was a racing incident as Smith hit the curbs. As Livingood pulling away from Erdman, or at least trying to, I should say, as he takes it to the Joker in car number 51. Very slow Joker that might have ruined his chances. No, it didn't. He holds the lead. As Erdman now, these two battled for the first lap of last season here, and Erdman put him on the wall, and he was stuck on the spot as we start lap number 3. I don't think that'll happen this season, but currently the running order is Livingood, Erdman, Wetz, Mertz, Smith, Hagenstein. Hagenstein immediately 20 points in the Privateer Cup. Mertz on the radio told him, "You don't even have to do anything, bud. All you got to do is cruise and you win this race." But of course, Hagenstein will get as much as he can for the Drivers' Championship overall. Livingood pulling away. Erdman had ran it wide, got a little bit of wheel spin as he's pushing hard to try and catch Livingood. Mertz goes to the Joker in car number 81. Remember, they have 2 Jokers today. I believe that's Mertz's second and final Joker coming to lap number 4. As this battle is getting good, lap times there. It's a close battle between the Revolution teammates. 42.9, 42.9. Mertz a 43 flat. Livingood ran it wide. He got bumped by Erdman. So this is a position swap between Erdman and Livingood. Will Wetz put pressure on his teammate, or will Livingood tell him to back off? There's no team orders in the NASA RallyCross Challenge, and there's no team orders regardless at Revolution Racing, as both of them take to the Joker. Out of the Joker they go. No position swap for them at the moment. As rounding the final corner to begin lap number 5, it is Erdman, Livingood, Wetz, Mertz still. And I believe Erdman got called for cutting, but I don't know, as it looks like transponder issue with the satellite here. And I don't know why, but I believe we're getting a red flag called. So a red flag is being called here on lap number 5 of 8 here in Valkenswaard. And I believe Mertz drove it to the pit lane, and race control hit the red flag button. And we don't know why. So we will allow the field to get regridded momentarily, as this is an issue that's never happened before. I would love to give you guys a reason as to why the red flag was thrown, but I'm hearing that they just hit the red flag button on the panel in race control. So the field is regridding, but it's not going to be a standing start. They're going to have to regrid again. I'm hearing that there, for the first time ever, peculiarly, is going to be a rolling restart with 4 laps to go. So Livingood, Erdman did cut and he told race control to put him 2 spots back. So that putting Livingood in the lead with Wetz in second, Mertz third, Smith fourth, or Erdman third, I should say, Mertz fourth, Smith fifth, Hagenstein sixth. This is he is going to filter in when they get rolling here. So it looks as though that will be the grid, but we're going to do a rolling restart at the bridge on the pit straight, says Livingood in race control from his car. That will be the call, and that's what we are doing. So, a peculiar sight for the NASA RallyCross Challenge, but a rolling start here. There we go, there's the right graphic, sorry about that. So, a rolling restart here in the NASA RallyCross Challenge. It'll be Livingood, Wetz, Erdman, Mertz, Smith, Hagenstein, your running order currently after the erroneous red flag here at Valkenswaard. Getting ready to go. The bridge is the start. It's lights out, and away we go again. Livingood. Erdman ran it wide. It looks like he got bumped by Mertz. And going into the dirt right-hander, which is effectively turn 1 on the restart. Erdman gets hit by Wetz, and this is where it's getting good. We're halfway home, as this time everyone gets a joker. Smith and Erdman around. Wetz is pinched to the curb by Mertz, and Mertz got the outside move. We've never seen that before, as it moved the double champion into second. Everyone got a joker again. It looks like Smith and Erdman made contact trying to take it. So, 3 laps to go. Here in Valkenswaard, it's Livingood, Mertz, Wetz, your podium currently, as the 2 Revolution cars are sandwiching the double champion in car number 81. Livingood ran it wide. Mertz is trying to take it. Hagenstein now moves to 4th in car number 83 after a stellar season in 2014A. The disappointing season for Mertz gets better in 2014B, currently in second after winning in Croft. Livingood, they have reversed roles as the double champion takes it to the joker. Will he come out? No, he comes out in front of Wetz. So already coming to 2 laps to go after this furious race. After a peculiar restart, it's going to leave Livingood in the first position. Mertz second, Wetz is third still. Lap time still, 42.7. Smith, 42.7, Erdman, then Hagenstein, 6th place, with a 44 flat. Actually a 43.4, but he's not on the lap count. Mertz dives it in. He wants this second race victory. The only time a driver has won more than 1 race from the beginning of the season, it was Elliott Porterfield, the first ever race. He won Croft and he won Island Rally. That's never happened before. It's always the first race, and then they never win until later in the season. So rounding the final corner, it's Livingood v. Mertz, like it has been for the past 6 seasons, as he leads, followed by the double champion and his friend and rival for Red Bull Subaru MRT. Then it's Wetz, the runner-up last season, in 3rd. Hagenstein 3rd place from last season in 4th. Smith is 5th. Erdman is 6th. But this is the battle. Mertz is going to sneak to the outside, trying everything he can to get by Dylan Livingood. He can't make it happen. Tries the inside. Livingood blocks him. We saw what happened when he got blocked last season at Talladega, but it did not happen. 2 corners left. Can Mertz make anything happen against Dylan Livingood? Running it into the penultimate corner. He was not there. Into the final corner. He was not there. He's getting close, but he can't make it happen, as Dylan Livingood will win in Valkenswaard. Mertz is around. Wetz 3rd. 4th, Hagenstein. 5th is Smith, and 6th is Erdman, as Livingood is your winner today. His 2nd win here in the Netherlands. And it's his 10th career win. As we mentioned, Mertz untied the record, and now it's tied again for most wins. Livingood wins. It's Wetz celebrating with his teammate like we saw so many times last season. And then there are these. That's the format. Here we go. Your official results today for the round of the Netherlands. Livingood wins, then it's Mertz in 2nd. So a first podium for Chris Wetz in 3rd for the season. Hagenstein 4th. Smith 5th. Erdman 6th. Maurice Pigeon, best of the rest, 7th. Bellamy 8th. Lester 9th. Keeping this graphic, winner in privateers is Hagenstein. Bellamy 3rd. are second, Leicester third, and privateer points are Bellamy by a point over Hagenstein, 38-37, I believe. The Drivers' Championship. They've got half a race over third, but it's Living Good and Mertz tied at the top with 39, Wetz 27, Bellamy 25, Erdman 24, tied with Hagenstein, Smith 21, Leicester 16, Penko 15, and Messina 13th. 13 points, I should say, on 10th, as the bottom two did not participate in today's race. The Constructors' Championship, Revolution Racing edges out 2 points over Red Bull Subaru MRT, and the Citroen team 36 points. That's not looking good for them. And Mangled Lemons Racing, 6 points. They have been moved to the Privateer Cup with Nick Cars, as Keith Sherman has not arrived at the circuit for the past 2 races. And the Manufacturers' Championship tied as well. Subaru and Mitsubishi 39, Citroen 21, and Ford 14. And the unmentioned championships in the NASA Rallycross Challenge, which are the Nations, the Tires, and I believe there's another one, but it's not catching my memory at the moment. Those are tied as well, with Hoosier and Bridgestone, and Canada and Germany both tied at 39 due to Living Good and Mertz swapping places for the first 2 rounds of the championship. And once we find the graphic we want, there we go. That was that for the second round of the 2014B NASA Rallycross Challenge season here at Valkenswaard. And next week, we will return to Germany. And if you think about this, we have not been to Germany since 2013A, the first time Mertz had never raced in the NASA Rallycross Challenge, the first time Living Good got his first win, and that was right after Cheatgate. But we are not going back to Gifhorn. We're going to Munich for the first time, and it's the German boys, Urban and Mertz, their home race, so we will see if they will be able to get a good finish because of the hometown crowd. But until then, congratulations to Dylan Living Good and Revolution Racing on their victories today. We'll see you next week from Munich, but until then, so long, everyone.